I hope that this initiative, at least for the sake of the discussion, again, nobody dares pronouncing the word peace in Israel anymore. When you talk about peace, you are laughed at. You are being ridiculed. But I think peace is the only way. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here. And I will make just a short introductory because I will speak in details in the coming days. But just I would like to emphasize tonight, which is the launch of the initiative, the importance from the point of view of Israelis living there. This is a very rare occasion. You may think, Moratinos, you're veterans, Andrea Zule, you were present in many peace conferences, and you think this is what is going on nowadays. No. No. It's been already some years, actually many years, that we didn't have at all this kind of things between Israelis and Palestinians. In recent years, not just after October, 7th of October, but even before, it became almost impossible for Israelis and Palestinians to meet. Very rare. In the 90s, a bit later, we used to have a lot of organizations, a lot of meetings, a lot of conferences. Yossi was very active, was the leading figure in promoting the Israeli-Palestinian understanding. But in recent years, these things almost ended completely. This is why when Yossi called me and told me about this initiative, I was very excited. And immediately I told you, Yossi, that really I appreciate your efforts deeply as an Israeli who wish to live in peace in my country, that you're still trying to promote this idea of peace between us and our Palestinian neighbors, because this idea is not experimented by anyone nowadays in Israel. The concept of peace, the word peace, if I go on Israeli television today, and I work today as an analysis on Israeli television, and I say that I wish to have peace with the Palestinians, people would laugh at me. Peace became like a strange word. Nobody is talking about peace anymore, the idea of peace. And when Yossi is talking about peace, he's one of the really last leaders in Israel still talking about this idea of peace. So people tell him, as you mentioned, Mr. Moratinos, this is an outdated idea. We should think out of the box, out of the box. And I think it's of extreme importance to have this initiative now, here, because with the change in Washington, the danger is that this idea of President Trump, supported by, unfortunately, too many people in Israel, of dislocation, expulsion, the word they use in Israeli political scene is transfer. The transfer of populations, meaning that the idea of peace failed, and now the new idea out of the box, supported by the US, and by the Israeli government as well, is to expulse the Palestinians, to expulse them, to deport them. Now, it is very important, and I speak primarily about my country, about the Israeli political system, about the Israeli society, that this idea of expulsion of populations would be categorically rejected, categorically rejected. And I try to explain to my fellow Israeli friends that when you start to talk about expulsion of populations, and Gaza is not 10 or 20 people, Gaza is 2.5 million people. When you start to talk about expulsion of millions of people, deporting them, then you face the same danger. Tomorrow, President Trump will be tired of the Middle East, and he would tell the same to Israelis, well, go away, to Jews. So the idea of expulsion is extremely dangerous, extremely dangerous. And the only solution, and believe me, I'm realistic, and I'm also tired of the ongoing, endless negotiations, but the only solution is this solution, is the two-state solution under this form of the confederation. Now they say it failed. What does it mean it failed? Rabin was assassinated. He didn't fail. It was sabotaged. And not by a lunatic. He was not a lunatic, the guy who killed Rabin. He really represented the whole political camp. Unfortunately, this political camp is now in power in Israel. And their idea was to kill the peace process, which didn't fail. It was killed. It was killed. And now they want to kill the foundations of our situation in the Middle East, in Israel, meaning that between the Mediterranean Sea and the Jordan River, there are about 15 million people. That's the number, more or less. Half of them Jewish, half of them Arab. This is the situation. Now, either we kill each other like now, or we try something else. And the something else is only the two-state solution. Believe me, and I'm not naive. People call me naive. They call Yossi naive. They say, how you can talk about peace after the 7th of October? But this is the only solution and the only answer. And it's not being naive, it's being very realistic. Being naive is talking about Gaza Riviera and building casinos and Hotel Trump in Gaza and deporting 2.5 million people. This is being naive. Now, I think there is a way forward in order to promote this initiative along with the expansion of the Abraham Accords. I will talk about it on my next session here. I think this is very realistic. It can get the support of the US as well and other partners. I think this is the way forward as a regional deal, and the Palestinian issue should be part of this big regional deal. This is the only way. Now, I think as an Israeli, I should thank each and every one of you coming here to support this peaceful solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, because there is no other solution. After the signing of the Abraham Accords with the Emirates, with Bahrain, so people within the government and Netanyahu himself said that, voila, here is a proof that we can have peace with the Arab world without the Palestinians. And people even said that the Abraham Accords mean that Palestinians are not necessary anymore. We can go directly to the Saudis, to the Emirates, to the Gulf. We don't need the Palestinians anymore. We don't need to deal with them about the territories, about occupation, about nothing. It's the end of the Palestinian problem. And then came October 7th, and then came the Gaza war, and then came this terrible situation where we are today, and everybody understands what we understand, what Yossi said all along those years, that the basic problem we have is the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The Abraham Accords with the Emirates, maybe now with Saudi Arabia, it's very good. We supported it, it's fantastic. But we don't have an armed conflict with the Emirates. Our soldiers are not in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. Our soldiers are in Ramallah, in Nablus, now in Gaza. Fighting is going on every day. So many people are killed, mostly Palestinians, but also Israelis. Hostages are still in Gaza, not in Dubai. And in order to get back to our senses and to bring back hope, we have to get back to the point where everything turned sour, the murder of Rabin, the loss of Shimon Peres on the elections, and this whole movement of settlements. And we have to get back there and to continue the process where it was killed, when it was killed. I hope that this initiative, at least for the sake of the discussion, again, nobody dares pronouncing the word peace in Israel anymore. When you talk about peace, you are laughed at. You're being ridiculed. But I think peace is the only way. I tell my Israeli friends, the Palestinians are not going to disappear. Forget about it. I tell my Palestinian friends, we the Jews, we are not going to disappear. We are there. It's the homeland of both peoples, and we have to share it. We have to share it. 15 million, half. Now I think this is a very good and reasonable solution, and I congratulate you, Hiba. You are also very courageous. Believe me, it's not something very easy and comfortable to be seen and to talk with Israelis and to talk about peace with Israelis after this last year. But those two persons here, dear persons, Yossi and Hiba, are doing something really great for Israelis and Palestinians. So again, dear friends, I thank you for doing this for all of us, because nobody else is doing this. Nobody else is doing this. Even left-wing, central party, opposition, nobody is talking about it in Israel. So again, thank you so much. And all the best for us. Good luck.